Once upon a time, in a beautiful village called Asunman, there lived a girl named Adjoa and a boy named Kwasi. Asunman was surrounded by tall green hills and flowing rivers, and it was known for its wonderful festivals and kind people. Adjoa was the daughter of the village chief, Nana Kofi. She had a warm smile and a heart full of kindness. Everyone loved her because she always helped others and made them happy. Kwasi was a hard-working farmer. He lived with his family in a small but cozy house. Kwasi was strong and had a sparkle in his eyes, always dreaming of a bright future. Even though his family was not rich, they were very respected in the village for their honesty and hard work. Adjoa and Kwasi had been friends since they were little, and as they grew up, their friendship turned into a special kind of love. Every day, Kwasi would work in the fields, planting and taking care of crops. Adjoa, when she wasn't helping her father with village matters, would visit Kwasi. They would talk, laugh, and share their dreams by the river, watching the fish swim and the birds fly by. They dreamed of a life together, where they could always be side by side. But things were not so simple. Adjoa's father, Nana Kofi, wanted her to marry a strong and powerful man from another village. He thought this would make Asunman even more prosperous and safe. He started inviting important men to meet Adjoa, hoping one of them would be her husband. Adjoa was worried and sad. She loved Kwasi and couldn't imagine marrying anyone else. One evening, during the Yam festival, while everyone was dancing and celebrating, Adjoa and Kwasi met secretly by the river. The moon was shining bright, and the air was filled with the sweet smell of roasted yams. Kwasi, Adjoa said softly, "My father wants me to marry someone from another village. What are we going to do? I love you, and I don't want to marry anyone else." Kwasi held Adjoa's hands gently and looked into her eyes. "We have to be brave, Adjoa," he said. "Our love is strong. We must show everyone, especially your father, that we belong together." Adjoa nodded and decided they would prove their love and worth to the village. The next morning, Adjoa went to her father with a plan. She asked Nana Kofi to give Kwasi a chance to show that he could be a good husband and bring good fortune to Asunman. Nana Kofi, though unsure, agreed to set 3 big challenges for Kwasi. If Kwasi could complete them, he would let Adjoa and Kwasi be together. The first challenge was to turn a dry, empty piece of land into a beautiful garden that could feed the village. The second challenge was to bring back water from the sacred river without spilling even a single drop. The third and final challenge was to protect the village from a wild leopard that was scaring the animals. Kwasi was determined to prove himself. He worked tirelessly on the dry land, planting seeds and caring for them every day. Soon, the barren land turned into a lush, green garden full of vegetables and fruits. The villagers were amazed and delighted by the fresh food Kwasi had grown. For the second challenge, Kwasi went to the sacred river. He carefully filled a pot with water and walked slowly back to the village, step by step, without spilling any water. The villagers watched in awe as he returned with the pot full and not a drop wasted. The final challenge was the most dangerous. The wild leopard had been scaring the villagers' animals, and everyone was afraid. But Kwasi faced the leopard bravely. Using his knowledge of the forest and his father's teachings, he found a way to chase the leopard away without hurting it. The village was safe, and everyone cheered for Kwasi's courage. Nana Kofi saw how strong and determined Kwasi was. He realized that Kwasi's love for Adjoa made him even braver and more capable. With a joyful heart, Nana Kofi gathered the village and announced, "Kwasi has proven himself in every way. His love for Adjoa has brought great blessings to our village. They shall be together." The village celebrated with a grand feast. Adjoa and Kwasi were married, surrounded by their friends and family. Their love story became a legend in Asunman, a tale of bravery and true love that inspired everyone.